I'm back with another comparison video today, and today I have the two Samsung watches that have the best battery life, which is still not great, but it's the best that Samsung has right now. So I have the Watch 5 Pro on the left here, and this is the Watch 7 Ultra. Now, this one is 2 years old, but again, it does have the best battery life because the Watch 6 Classic, the battery life actually decreased from the Watch 5 Pro. So I'm going to talk about the similarities between these two because a lot of things are the same. Then I'm going to go over some differences. I'm not going to cover all the specs. I'm just going to cover some of the big differences between the two. Then I'm going to give you some advice as to why you should buy the Watch 5 Pro and why you should not buy it, and then why you should buy the 7 Ultra and why you should not. Hopefully that'll give you some information to make a good decision on which watch is best for you. I have these, I don't know, I guess balloon-like watch faces, basically just to show you the bezels here, because that's a big difference between them, obviously. Okay, so let's talk about what's the same between these two. So they both lost the physically rotating bezel, and you got a digital bezel here. So you basically just kind of rotate around the edge here, and that's how you access all your apps and widgets and everything like that. They both work fairly well. And you do have a raised bezel on both of these, so it's easy to stay on the track here and, kind of just switch through all the apps very easily. Now, believe it or not, they actually have the same battery size. The 7 Ultra is billed as this great battery life and all that kind of stuff, but it actually has the same battery size as this Watch 5 Pro, which is 2 years old. So I don't know what Samsung does to keep these batteries around, but I wish they gave us a little more battery life. Now, both of these were marketed for extreme athletes, and both were said to be super durable and have great battery life. And some of that is true, and we'll get into some more details in a minute here. Both are rated IP68 and military standard 810. They mostly have the same sensors, including temperature, barometer, compass, but the Ultra did add an upgraded bioactive sensor, which gives you more accurate heart rate. Both have the bioelectric impedance analysis, which is the BIA sensor, and this is basically the body composition measurement. So this is where you put your fingers on the side here, and then you're going to get a reading for your fat percentage, your body, water content, and your skeletal muscle mass. So that's a nice feature that Samsung watches have. You get an ECG on both of them, and you do get a irregular heart rate detection. And Samsung calls this the irregular heart rhythm notification, which runs in the background, but the ECG is a manual on both of them. They both do have the fall detection and SOS features. Both screens are made out of sapphire crystal, so super durable. You don't need any kind of screen protector on either of these, I don't think. And they both do have that raised bezel, so it gives you even more protection. Samsung offers 4 years of major software updates with 1 year of security updates. And that is important because the Watch 5 Pro did come out in 2022. So you have 5 years from then. Again, believe it or not, they have the same charging speed, which is 10 watts, and it takes about 2 hours to fully charge them. Another nice feature is that they both support offline maps and GPX files. Now, again, there are some more similarities, but I'm going to just hit the big ones and the big features that most people are interested in. So let's get into the differences here. So the release date is different, obviously. The Watch 5 Pro did come out in August of 2022. The Watch 7 Ultra just came out in August of 2024. Now, the price on release was $450 on the Watch 5 Pro. That was for the non-LTE version. You got the LTE version that adds $50 to it, which is pretty standard for Samsung watches. So that's $500 if you wanted that. The Watch 7 Ultra is released for $650, which is a pretty steep increase, I think. Samsung does include LTE on there by default, and there's no way you can buy this without LTE. So if you didn't want it, you still got to pay the same price. Sorry. Now let's talk about the displays here. So you can see kind of the front, what these things look like. The screen size on the Watch 5 Pro is 1.4 inches with a huge bezel. The Watch 7 Ultra here is 1.5 inches, so a little bit bigger, but looks, I think, more modern because it doesn't have that big thick bezel on the Watch 5 Pro has. So there was a big change in the brightness. The brightness on the Watch 5 Pro is 1000 nits, which is adequate. I thought I was able to see everything inside and even outside in direct sunlight. I thought the screen brightness was just fine, but the Watch 7 Ultra bumps it up to 3000 nits, which is 3 times brighter than the Watch 5 Pro, so a significant change. Do you need all that brightness? I doubt it, but I guess it's nice to have. The resolution, a slight change here. It's 450 by 450 pixels on the Watch 5 Pro and 480 by 480 on the Watch 7 Ultra. So I thought you might be getting tired of those watch faces, so I just changed them here. Now let's talk about the build and design of these things. So the size, there was a slight difference here. This one is 45 millimeters and this one is 47 millimeters, and you can see that this is, a bigger watch. And it also has that square frame that makes it look a little larger, but the screen is a little bit bigger. So let's talk about the thickness on these. The thickness of the Watch 5 Pro is 10.5 millimeters. And when this first came out, this was a major issue that people were complaining about, that it was so thick and this and that. But then the Watch 7 Ultra here is 12.1 millimeters. So I guess people got over it. You can see it's definitely a little bulkier and thicker on the Watch 7 Ultra. I wore these. I didn't have any issues with either of them. I happen to like bigger, thicker watches, but I had no issues wearing these. I wear this one to sleep. No problems at all for me. If you don't like these kind of heavy watches, then your Watch 5 Pro would be your better one. The weight on these is also a little different. The Watch 5 Pro is 46 grams and the Watch 7 Ultra is 60.5 grams. That's without the band. So definitely a little heavier here. And again, if you don't like that heavy, bulky watch, then this one may not be for you. So the strap system is a little different here. On the Watch 5 Pro, you got a 20 millimeter standard strap here. So you got the quick pins. You could just go ahead and take these out and you could buy any standard 20 millimeter band from Amazon and go ahead and put it right in there and it will fit perfectly. The Watch 7 Ultra, Samsung decided to go with a proprietary band. So basically this kind of snaps in here. You do get a quick release that you can pull it out here, but it's a proprietary band that you can only get from Samsung as of now. There's going to be some third parties that probably come up with stuff, but I don't like the proprietary bands. It just kind of limits you as to what you can use. And then also all the bands that you might have are useless. Now they do make these things, which are little clips that you can put into the Watch 7 Ultra that will turn it basically from the proprietary band into the standard 22 millimeter band. But I haven't tested them out yet, but I'll leave them a link in the description if you want to look at them. They're fairly inexpensive. So there's some differences between the durability of these two. Now both are very durable, and the Watch 5 Pro was marketed as kind of the super durable watch, and you can go trail riding in the forest, come out 3 days later, and still have a battery in your watch, and use your track back and find out where you came from. And it is made out of titanium. Again, you got that sapphire crystal in the front, so super durable there. And it's rated for 5 atmospheres, which is 50 meters. Now, the Watch 7 Ultra, also super durable. It is made out of titanium as well, but it is rated for 10 atmospheres, which is 100 meters. There's also some other durability features that are emphasized in the Watch 7 Ultra for, extra altitude that it can go to and extreme temperatures and things like that. So if you are an extreme athlete doing some crazy things, the Watch 7 Ultra might be a better fit for you. Let's talk about some of the internals on these. So the GPS was upgraded on the Watch 7 Ultra. You go from a single band to a dual band, which would be more accurate, especially if you live in an area with a lot of buildings or trees or a lot of obstructions. The Watch 7 Ultra would give you more accurate GPS. The processor did get a little better, and actually it's 2 generations different from the Watch 5 Pro because this is 2 years old. The RAM did go up slightly from 1.5 gigabytes to 2 gigabytes on the Watch 7 Ultra, and the storage did double from 16 gigabytes on the Watch 5 Pro to 32 gigabytes on the Watch 7 Ultra. That's mainly if you're storing a lot of music on the watch. I think that would be important. So there's a couple of extra features that are available on the Watch 7 Ultra. You now get an energy score, which keeps track of your activity during the day and your sleep quality, and it will give you a number, and that's to prepare you for what you plan on doing that day, what you wanted to do with exercise routines or take a day off or something like that. The Watch 7 Ultra also adds sleep apnea detection. It also gives you an AGE number, which is the Advanced Glycation End Products, which kind of is supposed to give you some information about your metabolic health, but the numbers are kind of vague, and I'm not really sure if it's all that beneficial, but it's there, and that might improve as time goes on. The one thing you do lose, though, the Watch 5 Pro, you're able to do reverse wireless charging. You can put this on the back of your phone, and you can charge it. Obviously, with the debuckle band, it was kind of tough to get the phone on there, but if you did have a different band, you just put this on the back of your phone, and you can charge it. So the Watch 7 Ultra loses that feature, they say, because of the upgraded sensor back here. They're not able to incorporate that anymore. Now, you can still charge the watch through your phone, but you would need to bring your cable with you. You can plug your USB-C in the back of the phone, and then you could charge it just like you would normally. But again, you have to bring the cable with you. So it was nice having the option of charging the watch just in case you did forget it. You could top it off if you needed to. Now let's talk about the battery, which was kind of the main issue of this video and why I'm comparing these two. Because if someone wants to get the Google WearOS software on a smartwatch and you want the best battery, these are kind of the leading contenders. You got the Watch 5 Pro and you got the Watch 7 Ultra. There are a couple other watches, mostly like Mobboy. I'm not reviewing the Mobboy products or recommended them just because the software updates have been very poor for several years now. So I don't have much faith that they're going to support their devices. Great hardware though, but right now we're limiting the video just to these two watches. And we're going to talk about the battery size, which, as I mentioned before, surprisingly, it is the same. 590 milliamp hours. Again, this is 2 years old, same battery. I don't know how Samsung keeps doing that. It's like the Z Fold phones that they're making with the same battery for several years. I don't know how they're doing that and not increasing it a little bit, but that's the state of Samsung currently. Now, the battery life on the Watch 5 Pro is 80 hours. It's rated for 80 hours. I actually got more than that on occasion, so pretty good battery life on this one. The Watch 7 Ultra actually got, even though it's the same battery, got a lot of extra functions on here, and I got a much brighter screen and a bigger screen, technically. So this one is rated for 48 hours. Now, if you put it in power saving mode, you get 100 hours. In power saving mode, actually kind of knocks down a lot of things. It reduces the CPU, reduces your brightness of the screen, reduces the timeout on the screen, reduces your background notifications and location requests and things like that. And also the big one that I could probably put up with most of the other things, but it also disables the wake function. When you flip your wrist like this, it shuts that off. And that definitely is to save battery, but now every time you want to even just see the time, you got to either press the button or tap the screen, which, I don't really care for. So if I wish the power saving, you could limit a couple of things or turn on a couple of things, but there is no customization on it. So again, 48 hours on this, which is pretty much what I'm getting. And if you put it in the power saving mode, you're going to get 100 hours, which is, 4 days. Not great. Now, that's the synopsis on both of these things. So let's talk about why you would buy the Watch 5 Pro and why you would buy this one and why you wouldn't buy either of them. So let's talk about the Watch 5 Pro first. One big reason is it's much cheaper. When it was released, it was $450. Obviously, now it's 2 years old. You still can get it new in some places, but it's going to be significantly cheaper. And if you got a used model or a refurbished model, obviously it's going to be significantly cheaper. So, and you are getting a lot of the same features that are available on the Watch 7 Ultra. So it's still a very good watch, and again, much cheaper. Another reason to buy this is the build quality. It is very durable. I mean, you can see this is several years old. Still looks like it's in great shape. I mean, I take pretty good care of my watches, but still, this is in great shape. Very durable watch. This could handle just about everything you could throw at it, I think. The other big positive on this one is the battery life, obviously. Again, 3 to 4 days on this. Even if you're a heavy user, you should be getting 2 to 3 days on this. And if you're not doing so much GPS activity and you have the always-on display off, you should be getting 3 to 4 days on this. So great battery life on the watch. Just keep in mind, if you buy a used one or a refurbished one, you're getting a 2-year-old battery. So the battery may not be as good as, the original, obviously. Now, why would you not buy this watch? Well, a big reason would be you get less software support. So this came out in 2022. You get 5 years of updates, including the security update. So that's 2027. It is possible that Samsung increases the security updates, maybe quarterly updates or something like that, but I don't know. But as of now, 2027. So that's something to consider. Now, the digital bezel, if you like the physical bezel, then this watch is not for you. But the digital bezel actually worked very well for me. And with this raised lip here, it just keeps you on track very easily. So it's very easy to kind of move through the widgets and your apps and everything very quickly. But you do have that big black bezel, which makes it kind of look a little old and, a little cheaper, I think. Some people said it was a little laggy. I've been using it for a little bit here, and then I, switched over to the Watch 7 Ultra. I had no issues or stutters with it. I felt like everything worked very smooth for me. But that is a possibility of having an issue with that. It does have an older processor on there. And the other reason not to buy this is the screen is not quite as bright. That's kind of a soft reason because, again, 1,000 nits, I think that should be good for just about everybody. Unless you really need a bright screen or unless the current watch you have is really bothering you out in the daylight, I think this will work just fine for you. But again, a difference that you should keep in mind. Now, let's move over to the Watch 7 Ultra. So why would you buy this? Well, you're going to get even better build quality than the Watch 5 Pro. So if you are an extreme athlete or you're doing some extreme stuff with this, you're taking a scuba diving or something like that, and you want the most durable watch you can find, then that would be this one here. This is meant to be a super rugged design. So if that's what you're into, then this would be for you. Or if you are just very klutzy and scratch and break your watches and things like that, so this is a super durable watch for you. So this watch is obviously built very well. Again, sapphire crystal in the front, titanium frame, very durable frame, going to withstand 10 atmospheres. It's going to withstand the altitude and extreme temperatures. So very durable watch here. So that would be a reason to choose this one. It is brand new, so you're going to get 5 years of software updates from here. So that's great. So that's going to go into 2029. So that would be a very nice thing if you keep your watches for a long time. The battery life is a reason to buy it, but it's not an overwhelming reason because, again, these are the two best battery life watches of Samsung, but you're only getting 48 hours on this. So, 2 days worth, that's not that great. If you put it in power saving mode or you do that regularly and you don't mind those features that it limits, then great. You're going to get 4 days then. You do get a very bright screen on this, 3,000 nits. So that's the brightest screen I think that is available right now. If that's a big feature for you, then the Watch 7 Ultra is for you. Another reason to get this one is you like the design of it. It's definitely something different, with that square round combo design there. And, it's a little bulky and thick and heavy, but, if you like that kind of design, then this is for you. Another reason to get it is Samsung has been offering a very good trade-in offers for this. So if you do have an older Samsung watch that you are not using anymore or you want to upgrade, look at the trade-in values that they periodically change throughout the year. So if you can get a good deal on it, then the incredible price on the Watch 7 Ultra may not be as bad. Now, a couple of reasons why you may not want to buy it. Like I just talked about, it's super expensive. So that might be something to consider. And if you like all the new, you want the latest watch, but you want to go with the less expensive route, you can get the regular Watch 7, which basically has all the features of this one, believe it or not. All the sensors, basically everything's the same screen size, all that kind of stuff. But it loses out on the durability and also on the battery life. But other than that, like I said, you're getting a substantially same watch for about half the price. So something to consider. The proprietary strap, if you don't like that, well, then this is not for you. It also does have that digital bezel. So if you want to get the physical bezel, then you need to go with the Watch 6 Classic. You can check out my other video where I compared the latest Samsung watches, and I did include the Watch 6 Classic. And as I said before, if you like the design, go for it. But if you don't like the big, thick, bulky watch, and you may be wearing this asleep or something like that for sleep tracking, and you don't think you're going to wear this all the time, then again, look elsewhere. This also does have that extra button there, which is not a bezel at all. It's just a push button. That gives you a couple extra features, but you don't get too much out of it. You do get a siren if you hold this down for 5 seconds, but it's just like another quick button, which, these things you can customize and have it open an app that you want. So it's not that much of an advantage, but it is something there, and Samsung might improve the quality on that in the future. It might add in more customization to it so you can do more things with this button, but as of now, it's very limited. So another thing to keep in mind is you do lose the reverse wireless charging on this, so you can't charge this on your phone. So if that's a critical thing for you, then again, look elsewhere. So that was the comparison between the Watch 5 Pro and the Watch 7 Ultra. Hopefully I covered most of the major similarities and differences and helped you make a decision between these two. Let me know in the comments if I succeeded, and let me know if you like these kind of videos. I could have more comparison videos between 2 or 3 watches, because I think a lot of people are interested in doing that. Instead of just getting a review on a watch, they want to kind of know what the differences are between the 2 watches. So if you'd be interested in that, just let me know in the comments. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.